First at noon, fire investigators are looking into what caused the blaze in windward Oahu overnight that damaged 3 homes. You can see huge flames from this 2-story property on Waikalua Place in Kaneohe. HFD crews were called there just after 2 this morning and found the home fully involved with fire. They were able to get it under control in about half an hour, but not before it spread to 2 nearby homes. No injuries have been reported, but we're told 2 residents have been displaced. They are being helped by the Red Cross. We're going to bring you any updates we get on air and online. Well, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and city and state leaders are begging the public to not set off illegal fireworks in order to prevent another tragedy like Alia Manu. They say harsher penalties ranging from $300 citations to $25,000 fines and the threat of up to 10 years in prison are already deterring violators. HPD says from Thanksgiving through last week, HPD received about 230 fireworks-related calls. They say the same time last year, they got more than 1,200.
Don't set it off. Make the right choice, make the safe choice. If you set it off, you could actually hurt yourself, you could kill yourself, you could kill others, and that would be a tragedy.
And so it comes down to responsibility. And believe me, nobody wants to be up here during the holiday season sounding like they're threatening the public. We said last year, and I've seen it in print before, about enough being enough.
And a warning for those planning to set off illegal fireworks on New Year's Eve. Law enforcement will be looking for you. Chief investigative reporter Lynn Kawano shows us the efforts to stop those items from getting into the community ahead of the holiday.
Contraband most often gets to Hawaii in shipping containers. More than 90% of Hawaii's goods are imported. That makes it nearly impossible to search even a fraction of the loads that arrive. Matson is the largest shipper to Hawaii, delivering most of the items we consume and depend on daily.
All the food items that go to the shelves at the stores rely on us to make things happen and make sure that goods are delivered on time. We also run all the barges out of here for the neighbor islands, so it's very critical that we keep this hub running smoothly with minimal disruption.
Matson Management works with law enforcement to flag suspicious cargo to take a closer look.
Inspections are done off-property because it's disruptive and can delay deliveries.
New laws passed this year enhance the penalties to felony crimes, especially if someone gets hurt.
So I light something, it flies, it hits somebody, creates serious injury or death, I'm facing a felony. Right? So in other words, if that distributor is there at the party or helping to facilitate, they could also be held liable.
Traditionally, Hawaii rings in the new year by lighting up the sky with aerials and firecrackers that can be seen and heard for miles. This year, the Department of Law Enforcement says officers will be targeting users.
What we focused on here in Honolulu anyway was fight calls and drunk driving. Because of what happened, there's an adjustment of priorities because fireworks is now included into that.
DLE will use technology on New Year's Eve to assist their deputies on the ground, including the department's drones.
These 2 27-gallon bins independently are over 50 pounds.
Last month, DLE held a buyback event giving gift cards in exchange for fireworks. So far this year, more than 40 tons have been recovered, and an estimated 20 more tons are being processed. Other ways aerials arrive in Hawaii: through the mail.
Historically in Hawaii, our office has focused on crimes like theft, the trafficking of drugs through the mail, white-collar crimes, and only really in the last 5 to 7 years has aerial fireworks become a significant issue for us.
This is a list of seizures from each county between 2022 and 2024 by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. No other details were provided, but you can see the items are being mailed year-round, not just before the holidays. Recoveries have increased every year. 2025 numbers are not yet available, but are expected to be even higher than last year's 94. And when it comes to the weight of the items seized by postal inspectors, 2024 was more than triple the amount the year before.
So we're offering a reward of up to $250,000 for information that leads to the arrest and successful prosecution of anyone involved in shipping fireworks or facilitating the shipment of illegal aerial fireworks through the Postal Service.
It's not clear how much of an impact rewards, ramped up patrols, and the threat of tougher penalties will make this holiday, but officials hope it will at least discourage some from participating. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Meanwhile, as the one-year anniversary of the deadly New Year's fireworks explosion approaches, not one suspect has been charged. A'ali'i Duklo reports on the roadblocks that are frustrating prosecutors.
Here on Keaka Drive, this carport and three-story home stand unblemished. With no signs of any damage, it's impossible to tell this was once the scene of mass casualties and destruction. Nearly 1 year ago, just after the stroke of midnight leading into New Year's Day, a bundle of about 50 aerial fireworks tipped over and began shooting, setting off a huge collection of illegal explosives. The blast killed 6 people, including a toddler. 20 others were injured. The last survivor to be discharged from the hospital spent 4 months in Straub's burn care unit and got to return home in May. Others were also hospitalized for months, 3,000 miles away in Arizona. Although a dozen people were arrested, all are free, released pending investigation with no charges filed.
Generally, we don't foreshadow or give a heads up of when we're going to charge for obvious reasons, to avoid the flight of the suspects, intimidation of witnesses, and the destruction of evidence.
Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Scott Bell says family members and friends of victims are refusing to help with the investigation.
Surely under circumstances such as this, any fair-minded person would be willing to cooperate. But what we have seen is lack of cooperation, half-truths, misinformation, and complete information that's contradicted by the reliable facts.
Jack Ka'awai Jr. lives just a few homes away from the site of the explosion.
I think it's going to be a quiet New Year's in Alimano.
Since the tragedy, Ka'awai says families on Keaka Drive have cut back on illegal fireworks, including this past 4th of July, which is normally a big night for explosions.
People are scared. They don't want to get caught. I mean, other than that, and plus there's a respect factor on what happened in Alimano that tragic day.
Although the suspects in the explosion here on this block remain free, the Department of Law Enforcement says it plans to announce several indictments for separate fireworks investigations in the new year. From Keaka Drive, A'ali'i Duklo, Hawaii News Now.
How's it on this Tuesday? We still got these high clouds we're dealing with, and we still have fairly dry conditions, and we've got breezy winds picking up speed today. So we'll start out a little cloudy, but there's not going to be much rain aside from these showers coming in to the windward sides of Maui and Hawaii Island. And these winds will be picking up speed. You'll notice the difference today. In fact, it's going to get quite windy as we head towards the weekend. So we are expecting a nice Tuesday today. A little cloudy to start. We'll see more sunshine in the afternoon, and those winds will pick up to about 15 to 20 in the afternoon.
Thank you, Guy. Well, there's finally good news for Hawaii condo owners facing skyrocketing insurance rates. The premiums have made some condos unaffordable and some can't get insurance at all. But as Daryl Huff reports, adding state-run insurance products to the market seems to be bringing those prices way down.
Insurance crises of the past forced the state to get into the insurance business for hurricane and lava coverage. Introducing those products into the condo market seems to be forcing private insurers to lower their premiums for thousands of condo owners.
Prices are down, depending on what we're talking about, 30 to 70%.
That's what happened with this Mo'ili'ili condo. Its hurricane insurance premium dropping from about $100,000 a year to $37,000. One of many condos who got better rates because of new competition from coverage offered by the State Hurricane Relief Fund, the HHRF.
The private market wants that building and is basically beating the HHRF's price in order to keep that policy in their book of business instead of coming over the HHRF.
So maybe they were ripping condo unit owners off and there's a public option now.
Private insurance rates are dropping by sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars per condominium association just because now there's more competition in the market and there's more availability of this hurricane insurance.
The Hurricane Fund consultant said even though HHRF only insures about 50 buildings, the discounts across the market have added up to nearly $8 million in just a few months, with an average savings per condo of $95,000.
We have had an impact on the market overall. And so if you talk to agents, it depends what agent you're talking to, and it depends what business you're talking about. But prices are down.
The next issue to deal with is other perils insurance for things other than hurricanes, like fire and water damage from plumbing failures. The Hawaii Property Insurance Association, which was formed to provide coverage in lava zones, hopes to be up and running for other areas in the spring and expects huge demand.
In the bad buildings, the ones with deferred maintenance and a lot of water problems, those people just can't get coverage. And we know that they're going to come to HPIA.
Experts told the committee that the other perils market is also showing signs of rising competition and falling prices.
If we expand the supply, that prices are going to come down.
The next step is for the state to roll out a loan program for condos that need modernization or repairs that will make them eligible for affordable coverage. Reporting from Kalihi, Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
President Trump said the U.S. knocked out a facility in Venezuela tied to alleged drug boats. I'm Aaron Navarro at the White House with more on the first U.S. strike within Venezuela.
A snowy and cold end to the year for some in the north and rain on a parade out west. I'm Bradley Blackburn in Times Square with what to expect as we close out 2025.
Welcome back. President Trump says the U.S. struck a dock inside Venezuela that he says was used to load drugs onto boats. The intensification includes another strike on a vessel in the Pacific. Aaron Navarro reports from the White House.
President Trump is spending the day golfing on his winter break in South Florida, just after revealing a U.S. strike that targeted an alleged drug operation on the Venezuela coast. It's the first time the U.S. has disclosed an attack in the country.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats and now we hit the area.
The president would not say who carried out the attack. U.S. Special Operations says it was not involved, and the CIA declined to comment. The U.S. is beefing up its military presence in the Caribbean as it ratchets up pressure on Venezuela.
They've sent billions of dollars of drugs in. But maybe just as bad, they've sent hundreds of thousands of people in from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, and insane asylums.
The U.S. military also announced a separate strike on a boat allegedly transporting drugs in the Eastern Pacific Monday, killing 2 people. It's the 30th such attack since early September. President Trump has prioritized foreign affairs during the holiday break, meeting with the leaders of Ukraine and Israel during the past couple of days at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. His teams are now moving ahead with further negotiations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed optimism about the Gaza peace plan moving forward, winning him some praise back home.
I think it's important to us to be in good relationship with the United States.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told reporters he'll meet with European leaders in early January. A U.S. summit is also possible next month in Washington. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
Winter weather has been hitting parts of the upper Midwest and Northeast for several days now, at times causing dangerous driving conditions and power outages. Bradley Blackburn is in Times Square with the conditions leading into those New Year's Eve celebrations.
A winter storm is sweeping over the Midwest and Northeast, bringing a chilly and windy end to 2025. Detroit declared a cold weather emergency this week and opened 1,700 emergency drop-in warming centers.
So we want to make sure that people can be inside, they can be safe, they can be warm, and they can be taken care of.
In western New York, hurricane-force winds off Lake Erie toppled trees onto homes, and this stolen car left along the shore ended up covered in ice. Preparations for Boston's first night celebration were delayed on Monday, too warm for ice sculpting, but temperatures are expected to fall into the teens as the fireworks go off Wednesday night.
A few warming stations, but nothing as good as just bundle up.
As crowds gather here in Times Square for the big ball drop, they'll experience New York's coldest New Year's Eve in 8 years. Flurries may even fall with all that confetti.
To the lucky ones who are going to be in the immediate vicinity, we say dress warmly so you could enjoy the moment.
In Southern California, rain is likely to fall on the Rose Parade for the first time in 20 years.
This stuff's pretty hardy.
Float builders like William Lofthouse are making last-minute adjustments to keep the flowers safe.
All of the very sensitive to water decoration will be covered as best as possible so that when it goes through the parade, it looks its best.
The brunt of the rain is expected to be over by kickoff of Thursday's Rose Bowl. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And let's take a live look outside with our tower cam, looking out at Honolulu Harbor. So what's in store for our New Year's Eve forecast? Guy's gonna have the answer in 2 minutes.
First Alert Weather with Guy Hockey.
How's it on this Tuesday? The calm, mostly dry conditions will continue, and we still are dealing with this disturbance with all these high clouds. Of course, these high clouds don't produce any rain. There are a few light windward and Mocha showers. There's just not much out there. However, we are expecting a cold front due in on Thursday night into Friday. That's going to increase the showers, mainly windward and Mocha. Also increasing today, the trade winds. And from today on, the trade winds will run at breezy levels. In fact, over the weekend, we're expecting it to be quite windy. So look for increasing winds today. There's still going to be cloudy skies in the morning, especially partly sunny by the afternoon. And those winds will pick up speed to 15 to 20. All in all, a very beautiful day. And if you get caught in a shower or two, consider yourself lucky because there's not a lot of rain out there. There is a lot of surf, however. The high surf advisory for North and West Shores has now been extended until tomorrow evening. It's big, it's dangerous, but because of the trade winds, conditions are very good for those that can handle that kind of energy, because it's very, very, very hefty out there. Not a whole lot happening on the South Shore. East Shores remain choppy. So pretty nice for the next few days going into New Year's. The New Year's Eve celebration should be pretty good because the breezy trade winds are expected to help out with the smoky conditions out there. And the fairly dry conditions will continue until New Year's night. On Thursday night into Friday, a cold front will drop in with more showers. Scattered showers favoring windward sides. Drier but windier conditions take over for the weekend.
For some good news now. Planes landing on top of cars and pantsless cops. Jeremy Roth takes a look back at the weirdest, wildest, and wackiest headlines of 2025.
Prepare ye, for the end is nigh. You know, the end of the year. Sorry if that sounded ominous. Was it the ye? It was the ye, wasn't it? Well, maybe we should be prepared because 2025 was so unforgettable, so unimaginable, so unbelievable, I don't know how 2026 is going to possibly top it. You don't believe me? Oh, how soon ye forget. Let's take a look at 2025. Where better to start than with some wild whatnot on the water? A surreal but all too real moment unfolded in icy Chilean waters when a father witnessed his kayaking son swallowed up, then spat back out by a huge humpback whale. The incredible moment ended with the 24-year-old resurfacing no worse for wear and later saying it was his life vest that pulled him back from the depths. A most unlikely traveling duo in New Zealand made headlines when researchers released video of an octopus hitching a ride on the back of a shark. Marine scientists said the ultra-rare ride share was one of the strangest things they'd ever seen and nicknamed it the Sharktopus. And then there was the shark threesome. That's what Australian researchers called a never-before-seen mating encounter with a trio of leopard sharks. A published study said only courtship interactions had previously been observed, never group activities. It also noted that when it was all over, the female left, and the two males lay motionless on the seafloor, appearing exhausted. There were plenty of close calls, like a speeding vehicle that just barely missed a man when it lost control and flipped on its side at a Nebraska gas station. The only thing that would have made this insane Dodge more insane was if the car had been a Dodge. But alas, it was a Nissan. So close. Another crazy touchdown happened in Florida when a small plane making an emergency landing crashed down on top of a car traveling along I-95. Amazingly, among the aircraft's 2 occupants and the car's lone driver, only minor injuries were reported. And in New York, an inexperienced teen driver learned a lesson in gravity the hard way when they accelerated too hard and nearly plunged their SUV into the Long Island Sound, but instead stuck a very lucky landing on a lower pier. As always, there was kooky criminal mischief and wacky whoopsie-daisies, like this artsy-fartsy faux pas at an Italian museum, where a pair of tourists posing in front of a crystal-encrusted chair accidentally crushed the delicate work and then fled the scene. Thankfully, restorers were able to fix the piece, returning it to its glittering former glory. A Grubhub driver arrested in Arizona for speeding and reckless driving landed in the hot seat, but his hot food order still made it to its destination, thanks to a pair of police officers who took it upon themselves to deliver the pizza and the news to the hungry customer. As always, there were loads of wild animal stories, like surveillance cameras capturing a cool-as-a-cucumber California camper keeping his composure as a wild mountain lion strolled by mere inches away, a wild bear caught on camera breaking into a California zoo to mingle through a fence with its captive bear brethren, and a goofy goat's big derpy mug catapulting a Wisconsin zoo to internet infamy, racking up millions of views to become the go-to meme for what you hope you don't look like when the flash goes off. Oh, and there was also one lightning bolt leaving drivers shocked in Canada, another setting off not 1 but 2 explosions in South Carolina, a ballerina striking a cool-as-ice viral pose under an Arctic cruise ship, a suspect sought for stealing a sculpture stuffed in his shorts, a golden toilet auctioned for millions, and a cop caught with his pants down.
You got some pants on, cop? Officer?
Literally on a virtual courtroom call.
No, sir.
Oh, whoops. But my personal favorite this year was the trifecta of substance-abusing raccoon stories. Yes, you heard that right. In Kentucky, one raccoon that got drunk on a distillery's garbage and nearly drowned had to be revived with CPR. Another was found by Ohio police in a vehicle holding a meth pipe. And yet another broke into a Virginia liquor store, got sauced, and passed out next to the toilet. But hey, no time like the new year for these dumpster-diving degenerates to examine their questionable life choices and make a fresh start. For Take a Look at 2025, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Yep, it's been quite a year. Thanks for watching This Is Now, everyone. More news first at 4 right here on KHNL. Aloha.